We are champions of League One, and we've just got our game against Exeter to play us out. So I'm going to go straight to that, and then we'll come to looking around the team and how it's all gone and what next, whatever other news we've got to talk about. We've made hard work of it. We could have had it wrapped up 2 games prior to this, based on the maths. But whoever it was we were playing, was it Bradford? We only got a draw. And I think we may have even drawn the last game as no, we did. No, we won the last game prior to this, and that's what got us over the line. But we nearly made a big deal of it at the end. But we were always going up, so the top spot is cherry on the cake, on the icing, on the cherry cake. But you can see we're 6 points clear. We're with nothing to fear today. Giving them their last run out, their last hurrah. Playing in the blue that I'm sure we've played in more than our actual proper stripy kit. As our captain, Big Jim O'Brien, thumps one in from outside the box at 14 minutes. Excellent, boys. Excellent. It being that time of the season, a few players have started to squeak up about new contracts, which is, I don't know, I wish they kind of just waited a month. No, bother. Good free kick from them. I wish they kind of waited a month, because I haven't really had a chance to look around, see what sort of player we might be getting next season. So, you know, who we're keeping, who we're not. Though O'Brien already had a new contract, and I'm quite happy with that. Other players I think that asked for one was Miles Kenlock, our left back. Fine, happy with that, even if he's got a slightly melty face. And who else asked? Spence, he's our playmaker. Not playing today, I was giving McGugan the game. Because damn, case in point, I thought he deserved it. I'm not sure he'll be with us next season. He'll probably be replaced by a new ponderous yet talented midfielder. It seems to be a talismanic figure that we need to have. But I don't think it will be McGugan next season. So this is his goodbye, and his replacement Spence, well, he's kind of co-position worker, has had a new contract. So he will be with us unless someone puts an offer for him, of course. Because the reality of the situation is we have been given our transfer budget already for next season, and it was just over £1 million. Now, that's great for League One. It's enormous for League Two. For the Championship, it's peanuts. Really, you should think what we'd have had if it wasn't for our FA Cup run. I think that's actually responsible for generating most of that million. Without it, it would not have been pretty at all. Oh, another stunning goal from Dembele there. So 1 million is... There's an awful lot of teams in the Championship who have multiple £1 million budgets and multiple million £1 million players. As we saw when we play Brentford, for example, they're far from the biggest cheese in the Championship. And yet, like, at least half of their squad were over £1 million. And yet, that's our entire budget for our entire squad for this new season. Any team that's gone into the Championship from the Premier League is guaranteed parachute payments over 3 years that total something like £90 million. You know, so 90 times what we're getting. So our first aim next season is simply to stay up. That's all it is, and which is all we should expect. We're going to be making use of loans very heavily again, because that way we just have to pay their wages, not a transfer fee. We'll see who we can get from contract expiries, which now we're being promoted to the Championship. We should be able to get us. Keeper nearly ran over the ball. The ref nearly ran over the ball. We should be able to get a slightly better tier of players on expired contracts. We'll be able to scout a bit better because our scouting budget has been tiny. And of course, free transfers as well. Any players who have left their club will be more likely to want to come to us. Or if they are, perhaps won't cost us an absolute bomb. Because we're a Championship. It's a well-regarded league. So it's going to be tough. There's going to be a lot of transfer movement off camera between the end of this episode and the beginning of next, which will be our first in Season 3, our first season in the Championship. it's yeah. I'm not quite sure what sort of turnover to expect. It's all going to depend on who we can get, attract, and afford. I have. What's the score? Come on. I have skip. No, we're still ahead, 3-2. I have put in one offer which has been accepted. Tete last run out, perhaps. Put in one accepted offer for a midfielder. I found that's quite good. He was found by our scouts. Getting a lot of Scottish player recommendations. They do tend to be cheaper, and for them, the Championship is a step up. So it's one midfield upgrade already. Might be in a play. I'm trying to think. His name is Foss. I think he's one of the playmaker type position. There we go. 3-2. And I found a Scottish defender as well that I'm going to hopefully get. That I still think is going to cost 150 grand, which is a tenth of our budget gone. Over a tenth of our budget gone already, because I had to put of that. I think it was 1.1 million, but I had to put about 200,000 of it straight into our scouting budget because it run out. You know, we don't have a lot of money, and just the few players we were looking at over the course of this season, it's just eked it away, and it had all gone. So hang on, there we go. I'll do the press conference in a. No, let's do the press conference now. That's in these seven. So where is he? Our transfer we've got sorted. So there it is. Sean Goss. I can only imagine he's the brother of Matt and Luke. Bim. There we go. So he plays in the centre. Yeah, and he's our playmaker position. And yeah, that's right. He's the one filling our slot as our ponderous yet talented playmaker. Our scouts adored him. So he'll do just fine. Sat there in the middle. I would have liked his work rate to be slightly higher. Perhaps there's something we can train him on a bit, but that's grand. He'll replace McGugan and pair nicely with Spence. Where's the other chap I was looking at? The Scottish defender. Is it him? No, ironically he's not on here. Oh, he's probably not interested, that's why. Because of the division we're in. At this moment in time, it's that chap, Porteous. Hopefully when we're kind of confirmed, and when we've got our reputation as a championship club, I'm hoping he'll come to us. Because, look, heading 16, marking 15, he's really, really, really good. He's only 21. Our scouts recommended him to us. If we compare him with, say, Nelson. Wow. Big peak defending there. Brilliant. He's purely a defensive defender, but that's fine. He is really good at it. He's got one job to do and he'll do it well, so I'm hoping to get him. Right. So, home. Our top goal scorer this season should be no surprise. It is Dembele. He's been brilliant. McGugan with 13 assists. I think he needed 14 to equal Vaughan's record. O'Brien, most man of the match awards and yellow cards. Shows he wants it. He wanted it more. No one has been as good a passer this season as David Vaughan was last season. David Vaughan. If I look at our squad, where's our goals and assists? This column is our goals and assists here. And there's McGugan. Brilliant. 9 goals, 13 assists, despite being not very well rated by his own scouting team. On rating, he's one of the best players at the club, if not the best. But look, he's better rated than Jim O'Brien. He is 7 point. Oh, Manny Month, slightly more because he's a defender that scored 6 goals. Headers from set pieces. Thank you very much. McGee's been brilliant. I'm surprised he's not hit 0.7 to be honest, because I thought he's been exceptionally good for us. Made some wonderful saves. There's Kenlock, who we've already renewed his contract for. He's done very, very well indeed. On the right, Spence had 9 assists as a right back. Excellent. He played far better than Gamboa, who I was really happy with actually. I thought he was going to be brilliant, but never quite kicked on. Play with under 23. I have no idea what that means. Play with an under 23 work permit, not eligible senior squad league. A rule perhaps of the championship. Something to worry about and look at. Because, of course, Brexit's happened in game now, so work permits and the like will be a thing for us for next season. Fortunately, we can only really afford to scout in the UK, so it's not really too much of a problem. Don't expect to start seeing these fancy foreign names. Not going to be happening. Otherwise, elsewhere from midfield, Reece Brown was in the middle. Done a fine job. No problems there at all. In fact, yes, yeah, that's right. It was. I was right thinking of it being. Oh, perhaps it's Reece Brown we've offered a new contract to. Oh yeah, it is. Yes, Reece Brown we've offered the new contract to. Keeping him, letting McGugan go. But I do think his position is going to be the one that's challenged by Foss. I think Foss is probably better, but a bit slower. But as you know, I like to have 2 players for every position. Ball, our defensive midfielder, will be going back because he's on loan. He's been fantastic for us, though. Can't complain there. He's won 90% of all his tackles. Been a rock. Nathan Thomas, Dembele, they'll be going. Look at Dembele's stats are incredible. All our wingers have been really good. Baldwin and Dembele covering the right wing superbly. Kieran Morris and Nathan Thompson similarly for the left. So dangerous off there. There's Jim in the middle. 9 goals, 9 assists. Never really found a convincing kind of substitute for Jim O'Brien. Kasim played a bit. Gardner played a bit. They're players who aren't going to make it the next season. We'll be getting rid of those if possible. Up front, we've had nothing but disappointment. Despite the fact that, look, 4 stars, 3 stars, 4 stars, 3 stars. Despite the Bulgarian's promise and potential, he's been awful. He'll be going back, and good riddance. Mark Cullen has... I mean, he doesn't score many goals. 13 out of 34 is a fairly poor return for a club's primary striker. But credit where it's due, a lot of his goals were ones that won us matches. They were like the only goal. So although he's not been prolific, he's scored critical goals. What's his decent composure? Yeah, that's probably the determination. Perhaps the determination stat, just pulling him through there. Admittedly, when we've had wingers as good as we've had, it's not been too much of a problem, but up front is a real concern for me for next season because he's okay, but he's not anything better than okay. I still think he'll be here, but I would like an upgrade if I can find one. And Atete, I have no reason to get rid of him. He'll be happy around the club still. Super young. So that's where we are and what we're looking like. Up front particularly, and just seeing where we can do some steady upgrades. I mean, our defence has been really quite solid this season. Is it good enough for the next league up? Don't know. Perhaps we won't know until it starts getting tested. I mean, players like Sid Nelson, they do look good. You know, we have played some solid teams. You think, you know, the Brentford game, the Bristol City game. So there's no reason to think we're going to be too outclassed. I think if we start coming against quicker attackers, that's perhaps where we'll start to see a bit of a problem. Yeah, month. Yeah, because we're okay, but I don't know we're better than okay. Certainly, I'll be keeping my eye out for bargains there. Let's look and see who's in the Championship. How's that going? So this is the Championship currently. It's not quite finished yet. They've still got a game to play. Everton are really even at the top. Everton leads Fulham. 2 of those 3 will definitely go up. And then they've got the playoffs. Oh, I don't want Everton in the league. They'll absolutely hammer us, surely. But there's some strong... There's Brentford that we beat. But so many strong teams in there. The money that they're all going to have. Dear, oh dear. There's Forest staying up by the looks of it. So we will. Nottingham County and Nottingham Forest will be in the same league next season. So will Derby County as well. What's the picture in the Premier League looking like? Going down are Birmingham and Villa. And you'd think probably Southampton. But could still be Cardiff or Newcastle. That would be a surprise. Other teams in there. Yeah, it's the promoted teams that are just going back down again. City Have they won? No, because Manchester United have got a game in hand. It's in City's control, though. All they have to do is win their last game and they are champions. And then it looks like it'll be United behind them. And then a little bit behind that, Liverpool, Chelsea. Oh, look at the big gap then between 6th and 7th. Some things never change. So, anything else to say? I don't think so. It's going to be tight. We're solvent, which is the main thing. What sort of thing of our gate? How's our gates been this season? Schedule. Sort of home games. What have we been getting? It's a home game. 15,000, 13,000. We've not been filling our stadium. Our stadium's 19, I think. General, no, facilities. There it is. Yeah, 90,800. I'd expect to see the championship. We should be filling that. Our facilities are... there's not much point in worrying too much about youth when your facilities are as they are, and there's not too much point in worrying about the facilities when you're not expecting to be able to develop players because you're just having a complete turnover every year. That'll be something we'll start to think about as we start to solidify now. Our team in the championship will change a lot for this next coming season, but then the changes will start to slow down, I imagine. We'll start to get a bit more of a core, see some more familiar names. My expectations next season will just stay up. Mid-table, be great. Season after that, maybe the playoffs. If another transfer window's gone well, we'll have to see how it goes. Certainly we've got to be prepared to cash in on any good bids that we have. We really do. And then with some savvy shopping, we can reinvest and maximise whatever we can do there. Yeah, and hopefully... do hope for some good loan signings next season. We've been really lucky with our loan signings so far, and we should be able to entice a better calibre still next season. Pick up some players from the likes of Liverpool loanees are always really, really good. And we get a batch of those in. They'll be fantastic for us. Right, so that's where we are. League One champions. Made it again. Go us. Gonna be a tough one next time. Right. Thanks very much, folks. I'll see you next time for the start of Notts County in the Championship. Wish us luck. Toodle pip.